Okay. Hello, all. Thank you so much for joining in. Um, and a very, very good morning. And so I'm going to take a few minutes of yours before our Kiran Kumar go on and give you a lot of knowledge and information about network access control, right? So just a few minutes, 3 to 4 minutes, I will take you through what we do and what makes us different in the market. And yeah, and one more important thing to put forward right away is that if you have any question, either drop a text or make sure you raise a hand, then we will make sure all of your questions are answered, right? So let's begin. A lot of you know Trace Network and what we do and what we specialize in, right? So it's been 20 years. We have started our journey. Our company was started in 2005 by Mr. Suresh Babu Garu, and we have recently celebrated our 20 years anniversary. So in these 20 years long journey, we have had around 900 plus customers and 1,000 plus projects delivered and 1,200 plus security audits, right? And to execute all of this, we have a brilliant leadership team and a total team of 50 plus members. And in that, we have a network support team of 20 members. So we are not just only limited to Hyderabad. Hyderabad is our head office, but we're not just only limited to this one state, but we have our presence. We have our functional teams in different cities, starting with Andhra Pradesh, Vizag and Vijayawada, and then in Karnataka, Bengaluru, and Tamil Nadu, soon we are going to be operational. And yes, this is what really makes us different, right? We have a very, very huge network team. We constantly make sure the link that you have joined in is a personalized link from our own ERP. It's not a Teams or it's not a Google Meets. We are constantly innovating. We're constantly looking to build new ways so that our customers reaches out and we make sure, and the solution, the query resolution process is simple and easy, right? And one of the statistic, if I have to say, is around 90% of the tickets raised are closed on the single day itself. That's a really big number, right? So we also have multiple channels. We have our own help desk where you can raise ticket, and our technical head will get down and assign that ticket and get it closed as soon as possible. And we have a WhatsApp line as well, and then through email too. So multiple channels where you can receive the customer support. Then, and also to tell, recently we have been certified as ISO 27001, and from before also we did have 9001. So we are constantly improving our support standards. We are always looking to deliver what better we can do for our client base. Okay, coming to Aruba. With Aruba, we have been there since 8+ years, a very strong partnership since 8 years. And there were a lot of occasions where we have received awards for implementing solutions or doing the great work, right? There were multiple occasions like that. And also recently, we have been certified as a gold partner. And if I have to give some more statistical facts, then over the period of this time, we have deployed and implemented over 6,000 plus access points, 2,000 plus switches, and we have done over 30 plus NAC implementations. And on top of that, we have certified network engineers, so Aruba certified network engineers. And that is the reason I'm proud to say that we have over 15,000 plus users connected over internet securely with Aruba's network access control. About network access control, we have Mr. Kiran.
You can see the screen, right? Team, Vidyasagar or someone can respond. If you can see the screen, I can.
Yes, Kiran, we can able to see your screen.
Yes, we can able to see.
Right. All right. Thank you. So yeah, this is the ClearPass. I took access to the ClearPass web UI, and the web UI itself is pretty much enough to explain like what are the features does it support and how we can, what are the modules it is comprised of, and how to make use of them. I will go one by one. So before we get into the ClearPass as a product, let's understand what is ClearPass and why we would require ClearPass in a network. Okay, so if we take a network or in an organization, the network is always comprised of multiple various types of devices, various types of users. And how securely we are making the users or device connected to the network always matters. Okay, so we should not take any chance of giving direct access to any of the devices or users. That will become a security threat for the entire organization. Depends upon the activities the user or device going to perform in the network. So we need to validate every user and every device, doesn't matter what type of the user or the device it is. Let it be the most secure device going to be connected to the network, or IoT device is going to be connected to the network. It doesn't matter. First of all, the device or the user, whoever is trying to access the network, they should prove their identity. Once they prove their identity, the network privileges should be assigned based on the identity. So not every user or every device in the network are same, right? Few of the users might have the utmost privileges to access anything across the network. Few of the users meant for accessing the internet, not the network resources. How we are going to make the differentiation between these type of users or the devices? So to fill that gap, like to understand what type of devices or the users being connected to the network and what kind of privileges we can provide to the users or the devices, and what type of activities how long a device should be connected to the network, and what type of how much data a device should be used upon connecting to the network. All these kind of restrictions can be imposed using NAC solution. With respect to HPE, ClearPass is one of the successful product in the market, used by most of the organizations in the banking sector, corporate sectors, and industry sectors likewise. So there are huge amount of customers and huge amount of employees or users or devices using ClearPass for the NAC solution. Okay, so to get into more details of ClearPass, ClearPass is a NAC solution which can offer various types of functionalities and features. So first functionality, we call we uh, uh, concentrate more on is the AAA functionality. As I said, every device or the user being connected to the network should go through a identity validation process. Upon identity verification, device or the user should be given appropriate privilege levels to access the network. At the same time, post connected to the network, we need to keep track of the device activity, and we need to make sure device is successfully connected in a healthy manner to access any of the network resources. All these functionalities can be achieved through a module called AAA, which is authentication, authorization, and accounting. Okay, so that is one of the core functionalities of ClearPass. And the extended feature set, I would say, extended feature set of ClearPass. As I said, ClearPass is not only a AAA product, which will do the authentication, authorization, and accounting, and leave the users behind. It's not like that. We can make use of ClearPass in a various types of use cases to handle various types of devices or the users. It doesn't matter whether they're corporate devices, guest devices, or any IoT devices, or various types of users, whether they belongs to the local repositories or the Active Directory users or the guest users. It doesn't matter. Every device connected to the network or every user connected to the network should go through the identity verification process that can be achieved using ClearPass. So as a ClearPass, you can see ClearPass can be used to handle wireless devices, and the VPN users. At the same time, as I told you, ClearPass is the AAA product. Along with that, we can make use of the device onboarding, guest management, device health check, and security exchange. We will go each of these features and functionalities one by one, and I will show you the critical configuration parameters, what we can do using ClearPass that we can discuss. So in case if you have any questions, you can always raise your hand and you can stop me anytime. You can ask your question with respect to any feature set what we are going through now. Okay, so keeping this aside, I would like to go module by module. So ClearPass is mainly comprised of 4 modules: ClearPass Policy Manager, ClearPass Guest, Onboard, Insight. Okay, let's get into one after one. Okay, so the Policy Manager, I'd like to log in here. Okay, so once you log in, this is how the web UI you can see. This dashboard of the ClearPass, you can uh, get more statistics about the ClearPass functionalities and feature set. In case if you like to have a quick glance of every aspect, any aspect of ClearPass functionality, you can check it over here. And it will be too early to discuss about all these concepts that you can see in the dashboard. Let's go one by one. So before we get into the dashboard or monitoring, I would like to give you basic introduction about the ClearPass functionality, the feature set does it support. So as I said, ClearPass is the NAC solution, can be used for an entire organization in uh, with respect to Aruba environment or else in hybrid environment, irrespective of the vendors we use. So few of the organization might have a mixed vendor environment, not only the Aruba, they might have other vendors as well. So there are multiple questions raised by the customers, like does ClearPass supports so and so vendor in the market or not? Yes, to answer that question, yes, definitely ClearPass is a cross-vendor functionality product, and it is not designed only to support the Aruba products. It is designed to support any network device which supports the AAA functionality, which falls under IETF standards according to the AAA. Okay, so if you see here, so let's say if you like to do the radius authentications at all, you can see almost 122 vendors already pre-registered within ClearPass. Most of them are disabled because the most of the customers use pretty common vendors like Aruba, Cisco, HPE, and Juniper, Palo Alto, like that. So, but it doesn't mean that the ClearPass is a product restricted to only to the non-vendors. You can see there are multiple, like 122 up to 122 vendors can be integrated with ClearPass to get the complete feature set of ClearPass. Likewise, with respect to TechAx as well, you can see for the device management is also one of the crucial security mechanism implemented by most of the organizations. With respect to device management of network devices, uh, can also be achieved through ClearPass using different various types of service sets already implemented within ClearPass. Okay, so this is the multi-vendor support that can be offered by ClearPass. In case if you like to get more clarity on that, in case if you have any particular question about whether any particular vendor is supported or not, you can raise that concern. Okay, and okay, so let's discuss something about the AAA. So when we are talking about
Hi,
being, yeah,
Kiran. So we have a question from Surya.
okay, yeah, please. Uh, is it in the chat window? Since I'm sharing the screen, maybe if you can read it out, I can answer that.
Sure. Surya, can you drop down your question in the chat?
I so chat. Yeah, Surya, you mentioned you have a doubt. Can we integrate with RSA two-factor authentication? Yes, we can do that. ClearPass can be ClearPass is a product that can be integrated with multiple third-party authentication solutions, where the token servers or MFA servers, SAML, single sign-ons. Yes, it supports that. Let me walk you through that. See, if you see that authentication sources, you can see we have various types of authentication sources by default supported by ClearPass. In case if you'd like to have any token server integration with ClearPass, yes, ClearPass supports the token server activities as well. It can be implemented. And most of the customers uses Active Directory as a traditional way of authenticating the users and the devices. And nowadays, most of the customers are moving to the cloud platforms as well. When it's a identity provisions providers, Azure is there, and generic LDAP, SQL DBs, or it is pretty much a flexible product enough to integrate with various types of authentication sources, and it can be integrated as per the standard needs, standard best practice. I hope I answered your question. Yes, Aruba IAP cluster. Yes, it is. It is one of the common integration mechanism with Aruba solution. Yes, ClearPass can be integrated with Aruba IAPs. ClearPass can be integrated with AOS 6.x operating system solution, 8.x, and even with the 10.x. So there is, as I said, it is pretty vast supporting mechanism ClearPass has, with various types of vendors and the various types of protocols, and we can achieve this with Aruba IAP cluster as well. Abdullah sir, can you please be elaborate? Like, yeah, seems like
Okay,
we
give me a
don't
minute,
have.
Shivakumar,
Yeah,
so I will allow the access to unmute.
yeah. Please give them the mic access so that instead of typing, that will be easy for me to understand the question. And
Shivakumar, I have given you the access to unmute yourself, so you can unmute and ask your question.
all right, team. So yeah, you can raise your concerns. You can raise your questions. Let's make it as interactive discussion instead of one-way discussion. The last question from Apollar Sayak. Apollar Sayak, can you please unmute yourself and raise your concern or the question?
ClearPass is supported to another devices, other Mac devices, like
Yes.
like
Yeah, can you give me an example, like what other Mac devices you're talking about?
yeah. ClearPass is supported to another Mac device like TP-Link devices and Cisco devices.
Yes, it supports. See, it purely depends upon the compatibility of the other device as well we are integrating with. Let's say if you would like to do the .1x authentication, the .1 authentication is a radius protocol which should fall under IETF standard. Okay, so in case if you pick up any vendor in the market, And if that device supports the complete standard IETF mechanism with respect to the radius functionality, ClearPass 100% supports that. So let's say if you take the core vendors like Aruba, HPE, or Cisco, Juniper, these kind of vendors supports 100% compatibility with IETF standards, and ClearPass is a well-known product to be integrated with. But if you take any random vendor in the market, yes, ClearPass is a product that can be used to customize as well. If you see here, let's say if you don't find any vendor in the list of 122, it doesn't mean that ClearPass will not support it. ClearPass can be supported to import the supported attributes of that particular vendor. We can import it here, and we can still make use of the new vendor attributes within ClearPass to support that functionality. Yeah. To answer your question, yes, as long as the IETF standards are met according to any protocols or authentication mechanisms, yes, ClearPass can be integrated.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so the next question by someone else is about can ClearPass supports LDAP and Radius multi-factor authentication? That is by LDAP Radius authentication as MFA. And the next question is, can we use Jump Cloud Radius authentication as MFA? So the first, let's say the LDAP Radius authentication. So what type of LDAP you are looking for? Maybe Vijay Narsingh Rao, maybe if you can elaborate your question. See, we usually do LDAP for the user lookup. Okay, so once the user enters the username and password, we will do the LDAP lookup against any LDAP source to verify with the user is available in that LDAP source, and we will do the authentication accordingly. And this authentication can also be considered as the radius authentication. Yes, radius RSA we support. What makes ClearPass different from Cisco is that is completely the competitive analysis. Yes, we do that, but I would appreciate if we can stick to the complete core functionality of ClearPass today. And if time permits, at the end of the day, I will show you the competitive analysis as well with respect to Cisco ICE. All right. Am I good to go?
Yes, Kiran. So I have given access to all the attendees, so you can unmute your mic and ask if you have any questions.
Yeah, please, if you have any questions, you can raise your concern. So the next thing we discussed about that the ClearPass supporting various types of authentication sources like LDAP, Azure, Active Directory, token servers, and MFA servers. At the same time, ClearPass can also be used as the service provider, or else the ClearPass can also be used as the identity provider for the SAML or SSO authentications. ClearPass by default can be integrated with various IDP providers like Azure, Google Workspace, etc. So, and ClearPass can also be integrated with social login platforms as well, like Twitter, Facebook, Google, etc. So we will go through that when we discuss about the guest modules. Okay, and as we discussed, ClearPass can be integrated with external authentication sources, all listed here. At the same time, ClearPass can also act as the one of the authentication sources for endpoints and the users that you can configure here, local user repositories. In case if you do not have like small scale organizations where where they usually have only tens and hundreds of user accounts, for that they don't require the Active Directory to manage. For that kind of users, ClearPass can be used as the local authentication source, which can hold the identity of the users, like username, passwords, role capabilities, and everything that can be configured within ClearPass as local users. At the same time, we can define the list of endpoints which are getting authenticated against ClearPass. So these endpoints will obviously categorized according to the device type, like what type of device, if it is the server or the client endpoint. And the ClearPass has some functionality called uh, device profiling, using which ClearPass can understand what type of devices are getting connected. Let's say I would like to take an use case in uh, let's say educational sectors, where the users or students will be given only the lab devices, lab Windows devices for the or the examination section devices only to connect to the network and access the network resources using uh, the college provision devices like Windows devices or MacBooks. Especially they are the laptops. So they can the organization or the college can impose a policy like no device, no IoT device or the smartphones or mobile devices should be connected to the network. So to achieve these kind of use cases, ClearPass can be pretty much used to profile the endpoints. If a connecting device is a smartphone or the laptop, if it is the laptop, what type of operating system being used inside the laptop, like Windows, Mac OS or Linux. Based on that feature set and functionality, ClearPass can restrict access to the users and the endpoints as well. So that's how we can make use of the device profiling functionality, which can categorize the devices based on the type of the device being connected to the network. You can see the example: desktops, laptops, smartphones, tablets, like you can see various types of categories. These are all the supported categories ClearPass has. Operating systems it can understand, and based on the operating system we can figure out like what type of device it is. Let's say if it is the computer, it's the Windows. Based on the computer device category, the drop down automatically shows what are the possible computers it can be. Any questions with respect to device profiling? I have come across multiple customers have major concerns with respect to the device profiling, how we can achieve the device profiling, how ClearPass can read that endpoint context, all this. For that, we have something called collectors. There are two major ways ClearPass can work in collecting the endpoint classification. One is the active scanning. The other one is the passive scanning. So whenever a device is connected to the network, ClearPass can read certain context of the device traffic, and ClearPass automatically categorize the devices based on that particular traffic without any manual intervention, called passive scanning. Let's say the endpoints are being connected with the DHCP IP assignment, where devices will be sending a DHCP discover packets. So if we can direct the DHCP discover packets to the ClearPass within according to the context availability of the DHCP discover packet, ClearPass can understand what type of device is being connected and it can profile the endpoint. This is one of the examples of passive scanning. Here, all you need to do is you need to direct the DHCP discover traffic towards ClearPass, and ClearPass will do the remaining stuff according to the device profiler module functionality, and we no need to do any other manual configuration or anything. And there is other type of device scanning called as active scanning, where you can make use of multiple protocols like SNMP, Nmap, WMI, SSH, subnet scan, network scan, such type of functionalities, where we need to manually define the protocol type, protocol credentials, and the subnets. What are the subnets that need to be used? All we can define over here, and ClearPass can perform the active scanning on that subnet we define manually, and it can read the definitions of every client being connected in the network, and it can categorize the devices. So that's how ClearPass profiling module can be used. Any questions with respect to the ClearPass profiling module?
Yes, Kiran. So we have Surya's question from Surya. Surya, so I have given you access for the mic, so you can unmute yourself and That's the question.
Surya, can we assign the host check? May I know like what is the host check is like? You would like to check if the device is the domain joined device or not? If that's the question, yes, we can do that. We can check the host check as well. Host credentials validation, either with the credentials like username and password, or else with the certificate. We can do that. And Kirti K asked when AD is useful in ClearPass. AD is the Active Directory can be integrated with ClearPass, or else you can say ClearPass can be integrated with the Active Directories to authenticate the users or the devices against. Because most of the organizations will store the username, password details, and the user context information like the membership of the users, groups, and password policies. Everything will be managed through the Active Directory. So ClearPass can be integrated with the Active Directory in validating every user if the user is valid or not against the Active Directory, and it is more likely to have the identity verification and authorization. In that perspective, we can make use of the Active Directory. So to answer this question simply, Active Directory is an authentication source. ClearPass verifies the user identity against, whether it could be a client level authentication or the device management authentication. ClearPass can be integrated with the Active Directory for the username and password, or the username and password verification against. All right. Someone raised their hand. Team, you can unmute yourself and ask me if you have any follow-up questions after my explanation. Okay, I hope you are good to proceed. Okay, so since you have most of the questions with respect to authentication, I would like to show something related to the authentication as well. So these are all the various types of authentication mechanisms ClearPass supports. So what does it mean by authentication mechanism? What type of credentials can be used for the device identity validation purpose? They're based on the credentials and how securely the device should, how securely these credentials should be validated. Purely depends upon the authentication method we are using. Okay, so ClearPass supports most of the authentication methods available in the IETF standards and IEEE standards, and we can make use of any of these authentication methods to validate the credentials. Let's say if you like to use the .1x authentication, where the users will be entering username and password, which should be authenticated against the Active Directory in a secured manner, where the account details like username and password should not be should not be revealed during these process, any of the communication process. Like it should not be hacked by any of the man in the middle attacks or spoofing attacks, whatever it may be. To make the connection more secure, we can make use of the more secured authentication mechanisms. So in that point of view, EPP, MS-SHA-2 are the standard .1x authentication mechanisms that we can use to validate the username and password. In case you would like to stick to the authentication based on the certificate validation mechanism, EPTLS. And for this SSO single sign-on mechanisms, we can make use of the SSO and other mechanisms. In case if you have any authentication source which doesn't support EPP or MS-SHA-2 validation, we can make use of PAP and the supporting authentication mechanisms. So these are the various types of authentication mechanisms supported by ClearPass, just to make sure that authentication is validated against authentication source in a secured manner without hampering the credentials integrity. Okay.
Kiran, we have a question from Keshav.
Yeah, Keshav.
Yeah, hello, Kiran.
Yes, you mean these devices will integrate all the devices like Active Directory. Yes, ClearPass can be integrated with the Active Directory. Smart device, I wouldn't say smart devices is the integration. ClearPass can read the type of device. If it is a smart device, computer, or any IoT device, or if it is a printer, ClearPass can read the type of the device, what it is being connected to the network, and it can enforce the action accordingly.
And we can integrate for emails and the network devices also, right?
Yes, we can integrate with the network devices and the emails as well, like SMTP server. If you see here, devices, here we can define the network device IP address and the shared secret key, whether we are going to use it for radius purpose or the TechX purpose, we can use it. Excuse me, guys, just 2 minutes. There's a
Yeah,
outside,
okay, fine, yeah.
outside noise. I hope that is not disturbing you.
No.
One moment, one moment. Are we good to go? So you can hear me better now, right? Without background noise.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So I was showing about the network devices integration. Yes, ClearPass can be integrated with various types of network devices. You can see here, these are all the vendors ClearPass supports, and it supports functionality of both Radius and TechX as well. It can be integrated. But don't get confused between the network devices and the endpoints. Endpoint integration, we usually don't do that because endpoints are something which requires the network access to network access. But network devices are the management devices which are used to manage the networks, like switches, routers, and the wireless controllers or firewalls, like that. So still, we can make use of ClearPass to authenticate various types of management access levels of any vendor available in the market. At the same time, we can categorize the endpoints which are being connected to the network, whether they're the smartphones, printers, computers, etc. And the emails, when you talk about the emails, yes, ClearPass can be integrated with messaging setup, where you can define the SMTP settings to trigger emails from ClearPass. This is also one of the basic functionalities used by ClearPass to trigger the events like system alerts, reports, any guest register, audit records, or any other contact section information that we can do either with the SMTP email servers, or else we can make use of SMS gateways as well. We can trigger emails and SMS as well with from ClearPass using the SMTP gateways and the SMS gateways. All right. Yeah. So now we have seen like ClearPass functionality with respect to AAA. What are the authentication sources? What are the authentication methods? Does it support? And various types of protocols like Radius, TechX for the device management login and the client authentications. How we can make use of the ClearPass integration with Active Directory to read any particular device details. All this we can leverage the ClearPass feature set for that. And I would like to get into one more important concept called posturing. Okay, so if you take any corporate device being connected to the network, along with the user identity and the device identity, one more factor we always consider checking, the most important is the posture, health status of the client. Let's say I've connected my Windows device to the network. What if my Windows device doesn't have the antivirus installed in it? What if I'm using any USB device, device to connect to that laptop, to access any of the confidential information? What if my device doesn't have the latest Windows hotfixes, which is prone to have any cyber security attacks, which can make the device vulnerable? At the same time, it can eventually make the network vulnerable, which can act as the backdoor device to access the network. So to mitigate these kind of threat activities, we have something called device ClearPass on guard, which will verify the posture compliance checks of the endpoints being connected to the network. This is primarily for the workstations like Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. It wouldn't be, the other devices like Android and iOS devices, it is not so mandatory. So, corporate devices like Windows, Mac OS, Linux devices can be integrated for the posture check compliance validation. And ClearPass can be used to verify each component of each operating system to verify the compliance status of the client. Let's say if you like to make use of posture compliance checks of the Windows devices, these are all the possible checks that we can perform. So it supports both server operating systems and the client operating systems as well. It still supports from Windows 7 to Windows 11, which is current operating system, and server operating systems Windows Server 2003 to 2019. Okay, so every operating system might will have each particular component that can be verified. Let's say services. What are the services should be running in the backend that you can define? Service group name and the service name. And what are the default services available that you can check? Let's say security center. If this is a service, if the security center is running or not, if you want to check, you can enable the service. And in case if the service is not running on the particular client, ClearPass can deny access, network access to that particular device being connected to the network. Similarly, there are various types of components like services, processes, registry keys, and most of the times customer uses antiviruses. See, these are all the supported antiviruses by default ClearPass. These are all the available antiviruses in the market, and ClearPass supports most of the antiviruses. You can do the version checks even if the device is having the latest antivirus, we can check if the version of that antivirus is latest or not. And that file checks if the real-time check, like device might have the antivirus installed but it is turned off. So ClearPass can check whether that antivirus is running or not, running in state or not. At the same time, firewalls and peer-to-peer applications. So these are all the available components on any particular device, Windows 11 machine or Windows 10 machine, that we can enable to check, enable for the checks. And considering these statistics, these health status, ClearPass can decide whether the device should be allowed to the network or not. So this is particularly about the posture compliance checks of the endpoints. And as I said, these particular features are available for Windows, Linux, and Mac OS devices. Any questions?
Yeah, Kiran, this is Prashant.
Yeah.
I want to confirm that if you said virtual machines, is it Hyper-V virtual machines or ESXi virtual machines?
Here.
I think
Here, right?
is it support virtual machines, right?
Yes, I mean, in case of the client having any virtual machine running inside it, if you like to support that virtual machine or not, you can take the decision accordingly. See,
So is it support Hyper-V virtual machines or VMware virtual machines?
Yes, it supports. See, you can see the options available here. Allow access to clients running on virtual machine. In case if the particular Windows client is running on not a dedicated laptop, it is running on a particular virtual machine. In case if you like to allow access to that, you can. Otherwise, you can disable this. So if OnGuard agent detects that if that particular Windows client is running on a virtual machine, if you don't allow that, that particular device will not be getting access.
Done.
And also Windows, the client being hosted on a virtual machine is different from client is hosting the virtual machine. So let's say my MacBook, uh, inside my MacBook, in case if I am using any virtual machine, if that is against the corporate policy, organization policy, in case if you disable this option, allow access to clients hosting virtual machine, also can be denied, because in case my Windows device or the Mac OS, if it is running any virtual host inside it, ClearPass agent can detect that, and it can deny support to that network support to that particular client. It can do that.
Got it.
So when it comes to policy checks, okay, that's fine. We define the policies here, and we are verifying. But how ClearPass actually verifies these policies on the particular clients? How ClearPass is going to communicate with the endpoints? It purely depends on. Sorry. Hello.
Vivek Pandey, could you please mute yourself?
So when it comes to the functionality of detecting these health classes from the clients, ClearPass uses something called agents. So agents are available in three types. Primarily, on-guard agent is primarily persistent agents. Other one is the dissolvable agent. Every agent is supported based on the operating systems. As I told you, ClearPass supports Windows, Mac OS, and Linux platforms as well. So there are three types of agents are available. One is the persistent agent. Persistent agent is something like this. An agent will be installed on that particular client permanently, and this client will do the health checks all the time, and it exchanges the health information from that particular client to the ClearPass server. So this is most efficient way of verifying the health classes of the client using the persistent agent, because persistent agent runs on the client machine all the time. And in case if there is any change in the health class, let's say the user enable the antivirus while getting the network access. Once he gets the network access, his intention is to do something inappropriate activity by disabling the antivirus, which can potentially block the activity. So if he disables the antivirus, ClearPass agent can easily detect the change, saying that this device has antivirus disabled, and it can update the ClearPass, and ClearPass can take appropriate action to disconnect the client from the network based on the activity being performed, because enabling the antivirus and keeping the antivirus running all the time is always mandatory, but user has disabled that. That's why he's being disconnected from the network. So this kind of immediate active actions can be triggered using the persistent agent, and we can make use of auto remediation as well. When I say auto remediation, mitigating that activity, like let's say if the device antivirus is disabled, on-guard agent is capable enough to enable that antivirus automatically without the user intervention. That can be done through remediation process. So these are the feature sets supported by the persistent agent. There is other agent as well called dissolvable agent. Dissolvable agent is like a one-time health check of the client. It wouldn't run if you no need to run or install any particular client particular agent on the client machines. When you connect this device to the network for the first time, this agent will run on that particular client, do the health check. If it is healthy, it will be given network access. Otherwise, it will be denied to the network. That is just a one-time process. After the device getting connected to the network, in case any invalid activities being performed on the client, dissolvable agent cannot detect that. So, but why we have the dissolvable agent? This is only for the guest users who wants to get network access, and if the organization has basic compliance checks need to be performed on the client machines as well, where we cannot install, where we are not allowed to install any agents on the guest users, we use the dissolvable agent. Okay, so recently most of the organizations came up with a request called why we need to install any particular agent on the client. Can't we make this process simple and silent in the back end? That kind of queries we recently started getting. That's when we came up with something called agentless OnGuard. Agentless OnGuard is also supported feature functionality of Windows, Mac OS, and Linux devices, where we no need to install any agent on the end clients, but ClearPass can can do a remote execution on the clients to get the health information without the end user intervention. Let's say I am the end user, I am able to see this OnGuard activity, OnGuard agent installed on the client. But in case if you use the agentless, I wouldn't be able to see any application running on my client. It is the completely backend process remotely executed by ClearPass on the client machines to get the health information. This functionality is also as similar as the persistent agent where we install the agent on the client. But there are certain factors we cannot 100% achieve using agentless, which can be achieved through the persistent agent. I hope this is clear about the OnGuard functionality, how it does the health checks on the clients, and how it reads the health check of the clients using agents, what type of agents we have. Is it clear? If you have any questions. No questions. Someone raised the hand. Surya, raise your hand. Okay, it was 18 minutes. Okay. Okay, this is pretty much about the AAA functionality of ClearPass and the health classes, and how ClearPass is compatible with multi-vendor environment. What are the features that does it supports with various types of authentication methods, authentication sources, all that. Let's get into the other module. Let's see. We discussed about the policy manager and what are the integral parts of the policy manager with respect to AAA, and the device profiling, posture, device health as well. Let's get into the guest. So this is about the guest module, where the organizations might require might need to give access to the guest users as well. So again, the guest module can be used to handle both guest users and the guest devices as well. So there are multiple ways of handling the guest users, where the guest user can approach any particular person of the organization, can have their account created. Like, let's say help desk, they can approach the help desk, create their own account by providing certain details. Once they fill in the details, like all the which company is coming from, what is his email ID, from when to when the account should be activated, all these details, what role he belongs to. This is a kind of, I can create the account, I can share the details to the guest user. But this is pretty hectic process, as it requires a lot of manual intervention. Someone need to be available all the time to create the guest accounts. Let's in case if it is kind of any event where we can expect multiple guest users coming into the organization, we cannot have an help desk user to provide the manual accounts and username and passwords to all the accounts manually. It will take a lot of time, and it is a complete hectic process for any administrator to initiate. Okay, so considering this fact, along with the help desk registration, we have something called self registrations. Self registration is nothing but a page will be displayed to the users. Once we will be hosting an SSID, open SSID. Once any guest user connect to the SSID, they will be given access to, they will be prompted with a captive portal redirection where they need to enter the credentials. And once they enter the credentials, like here, I am collecting the name, email ID, MAC address of the client. And once they click on register, an account will be created within ClearPass, and they can make use of that account to access the network for a particular duration defined for that account. So at the same time, we have something called sponsor approval as well. So instead of leaving the account creation for the guest users, we can leverage the guest users to create their account based on the sponsor approval. Without sponsor approval, they will not be able to create their account. So let's say I am an HP employee. In case if you like to come to HP organization as the guest user, if you create an account, you can map me as the sponsor for your account. I will receive an email to verify your identity details. What is your first name, last name, email ID? What is the purpose you are coming to HPE? All I will verify. And if I feel that this is the legitimate user who is trying to access the network, I can approve the account for that, so that you will be able to get the network access upon successful account creation. If I don't approve that account, it doesn't matter how many times you register for the network, you will not be able to access the network. That's how we can make use of the guest modules and guest registrations. And also we have something called web logins to have the users who already have the account created, instead of registering multiple times. This we can leverage. And as I told you, ClearPass can be integrated with various types of social logins as well. You can see various types of identity providers. You can use Twitter, Yahoo, Salesforce, all this, LinkedIn, Microsoft. It supports most of the social login vendors available in the market. And one of the beautiful things with guest module is it is completely customizable. I haven't seen a scenario so far if customer comes with one requirement with respect to guest customization. There is no instance we said no to implement that customization. So that kind of huge and vast the guest module is, and you can create various types of fields, various types of registration processes, pages, languages, skins, like how a page should be looking like, and using of the private files, public files onto the page to download, use of terms and conditions activities, everything you can perform within ClearPass or guest module. That's how we can make use. And at the same time, it can, as I told you, it can be integrated with emails and SMS gateways as well to receive the SMS and emails upon account creation. Okay. So any questions with respect to the guest module when it comes to basics? Surya, if you have any questions, you can either type in.
Yeah. Hello.
Yes.
Now you can able to hear us, right?
Yeah, we can hear.
Yeah. Actually, I missed so many questions because my mic was not worked.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And here my doubt is, you said poster check, right? In that
Yes.
poster check, you shown me the antivirus is latest or not. Instead of showing latest, can we assign what is the version preferred? Can we assign that?
Yes, you can do that. I'll show you. You can see the screen, right?
Yeah. No, because our environment we are using checkpoint endpoint. That version is 8 point something.
Yeah,
Okay,
checkpoint endpoint security, right?
correct.
So checkpoint endpoint security.
Hmm.
You can,
E88.70 version we are using currently.
yeah. We can mention that version. The version should be at least version you can mention.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And N-1 updates as well, you can check. Maybe you might not like to define a version details. Maybe of the organization consider N-1 as the most secure way of verifying the clients, right? You can mention. And so ClearPass by default holds the database of the last 10 updates of that every antivirus defined here. And it holds the list of versions, and it can verify. If you mention one, it can compare the N-1 version, and it can.
Okay. Done.
Any questions with respect to portion?
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. All right. And we discussed about guest as well afterwards. Any questions with respect to guest?
No, guest is clear actually.
All right.
Currently, we are doing the same. We are using Google Sheets and doing permissions,
Mhm.
HOD approvals, whatever the managers are approve. But in
Yeah.
this, there is an inbuilt feature that will be helpful us.
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
can use it, and it is a one-time, single-time configuration.
Okay.
Afterwards, just user will create their account on their own. That will be
Hmm.
sent to the sponsor. Sponsor reviews that, and if he likes him, he approves
Correct.
that. If it is not, he will deny that support. That's it.
Okay. Okay. Good. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. So next important thing I would like to discuss about is the onboard. So onboard, why? What is the purpose of onboard? What does it mean by onboarding? So to make it simple, let's say your organization has a policy where organization will give network, endpoints or devices to the users. We usually call them as the corporate devices. Let's say I'm an HP employee. I got this laptop from the HP. So this laptop is the corporate device. So this corporate device has certain policies. Let's say I'm using this access security, and I have this Zscaler. Everything will be will be managed by my organization. And unless I have these two applications installed, I will not be able to connect this connect this device to the network. So at the same time, if I want to connect to any .1x SSID inside on my organization premises, I no need to configure any of the network settings to connect to the .1x SSID, because my organization is taking care of this device, and they can manage my client, how I can make this client to connect to the .1x SSID by the organization itself, because it is the corporate device. But what if I want to connect my own device? I have my app, iPad or iPhone or a smart Android smart device. If I want to connect that device to the corporate network, how I can make use of that device? Because it requires a lot of settings in the backend to make any device to the connect to the network, right? Let's say this device is connected to the network based on a certificate. Since it is a corporate device, it can get the certificate to the organization policy. But my personal device, my iPad or iPhone or the smart device cannot get the certificate, right? So how I am going to get the certificate? How I am going to get the network profiles in order to connect to the corporate network? So that kind of device management, BYOD device management, we usually call it as onboarding. Okay, so the way we are connecting the corporate device to the corporate network, in the similar fashion, we can connect the BYOD devices also to the corporate network with the standard security mechanism. What I meant to say is we will not be compromising the security features, even if you are connecting your corporate device or the BYOD device to the network, as long as you are onboarding the device to the network according to the security standards. So these settings can be defined within ClearPass as a network settings. Let's say I want to connect to a particular network. See, this doesn't have the onboard licenses. That's why I'm not sure if it can open that. Okay, it is opening. So see what type of security type, if it should be using the enterprise level security or PSK level security, if it is going to use the wireless wired only interfaces or not, and what SSID the device should be connected. All this can be defined. If it is the SSID, CIC core, what protocols, if it is going to support the TLS based authentication or certificate, EP based authentication, all these settings can be configured within the profile, and these profiles can be issued to the clients through onboarding process. The one good thing is ClearPass by default has the certificate authority mechanism. ClearPass can itself as the CA to issue certificates to the clients. You don't need to go for external third-party certificate authorities. So to make it simple, ClearPass can also act as a group policy, where you can use the group policy to the corporate devices. You can use onboarding to the BYOD devices to issue any kind of settings, certificates, network privileges to the users. Is it clear? So like how we are managing the corporate devices, we can similarly we can manage the BYOD devices using the onboarding module. Any questions with respect to onboarding, its functionalities? All right. Okay, so far we discussed about the guest functionality, post-share functionality, device profiling, onboarding, what are the various types of vendors ClearPass can be integrated with, and what are the AAA feature set like authentication methods, authentication sources, what are the types of authentication sources that we can ClearPass, that we can integrate ClearPass with, all these. So this is completely relevant to the product functionality in handling the devices and the endpoints. But how we can keep track of these activities? We should also monitor at the end of the day, right? So to monitor these kind of activities performed on the client, on the ClearPass, what are the activities done by the clients? All this can be done through a monitoring tool within ClearPass called Insight. If you enable Insight in ClearPass, ClearPass can store the activity information of all the clients, endpoints, network devices, and we can get the reports of these activities in the form of Excel sheet, CSV file, or the PDF. To have a quick glance, you can see the dashboard. Authentication trend, you can see how many authentications are happening against ClearPass. Authentication distribution, let's say if you have multiple ClearPass servers, how many servers, how many authentications handled by each server. TechX authentication static. Since it is a lab device, you might not be able to find the complete details, but when it comes to the production environment, yes, it has a very huge set of configuration and the monitoring statistics that you can find. So it has by default a classification based on the type of activity. Let's say if you'd like to see the authentication statistics, endpoint statistics, guest information, license utilization, network statistics, the posture information is nothing but a health classes of the clients. System monitor is within ClearPass. What is the data utilization and memory utilization, how much time it is taking to validate each authentication process, all that. So that can be that can be seen on the dashboard with a good and beautiful visual representation that you can see here. At the same time, if you like to get the client information as well, you can see all the client details.
Kiran.
And you can, yes?
Kiran, here one doubt. Here only we can customize with a IP address, or we can see by user name, host name also.
Where? Here?
No, you are talking about reports, right? For example, I want to track one user utilization, how much he is utilizing, where he is connecting, source and destination. Can we see that detailed log?
Source and destination network activity cannot be monitored by ClearPass, because ClearPass is not something which will act as the firewalls. Usually firewalls will know like what is the source destination the client is accessing, right? That is
Correct.
not the functionality of the NAC solution.
Okay.
ClearPass can understand how long the device is connected to the network, how much bandwidth it has utilized. That too can be tracked by the network device, and ClearPass can get that information through accounting. Let's say if you like to allow the device to use only 2 GB per day, ClearPass can do. In case if you like to make use of the device authentication, device connectivity only for 8 hours in a day, yes, ClearPass can do that. But ClearPass is not the product, or any NAC solution is not the product to verify the source and destinations of the clients. Let's say what type of website it is using, and whether
Application
it is
level.
allowed or application level checks. ClearPass will not do that. That comes under the network devices. Like if you have the, let's say if you are using the AOS wireless controllers by default have the deep packet inspection functionality, where it can keep track of every traffic generated by the clients towards any of the destination, and it can provide you a segregated list of source and destination information of any particular user. That is the functionality of the wireless controllers and gateways, not the functionality of ClearPass.
Okay. AOS, right?
AOS, Aruba operating system.
Okay.
Yeah, that is, if you talk about the Aruba operating system, there are various types of operating systems within HP itself. HP operating systems are there. With respect to Aruba portfolio, you have AOS, Aruba operating systems, and CX platforms are there.
Okay. Okay.
So CX switches, gateways, 8 dot again AOX is of 3 types. 6.x, which is pretty older version. 8.x is the on-prem devices like mobility conductor, mobility devices, types of topology that it supports. Again, 10.x is the completely cloud-based, central-based solution that
Okay.
HP offers, HP Aruba offers. But when it comes to the configuration reports, on the other hand, you can run the reports based on the category, various types of categories. Let's say there are banking environments. Let's say if you consider the banking environments, they will regularly go through the RBI audits. They need to submit the reports of the failed authentication, successful authentications, how many devices are being authenticated on regular basis, how many new devices are coming in, and if they are failing, what is the cause of the failure. So these kind of requirements can be asked by any of the management level employees or any external auditors, whoever is audit point of contact. Okay, so to serve these kind of requirements, ClearPass by default has certain categories to classify the devices based on the endpoints, authentications, if it is the guest authentications. Like say, if you take the on guard, how many endpoint posture overview. It'll show you the simple details of how many devices are unhealthy, how many devices are quarantined, how many devices are still in unknown status. All this context we can get it in the raw information if you enable this option, which you can see it in the CSV file. At the same time, you can get it in the sample report as well. If you see this sample report, total 339 of on-guard devices. Healthy devices are 33, unhealthy devices are percentage. You can see the pie representation, graphical representation, what are the classes the on guard is missing, all this. In case if you like get it in a CSV format also, you can see that. So that's how Insight can be useful along with this existing templates. In case if you have any the customization requirements, yes, we can see the customization. We can provide you the customized reports as well according to your requirement and need.
Okay.
One,
Kiran.
yes, yes.
Kiran, and can we check existing, current utilization of user? How much bandwidth he is utilizing? That
Yes,
kind of
you can do
information.
that. You can do that. You can do that.
Is it show like last 5 minutes or how it will be?
It will not be like that. You can see active sessions is something we can see here. Okay. If you click on this active session, you can see session at what time session is started, what is the IP address, username, MAC address of the client, from
Okay.
which device it is connected to, at what time the session is started, how long the session is active, and session traffic, what is the bandwidth utilization is.
Total amount of bandwidth, how much he utilized. That information it will show, right?
Yeah, in the session traffic information, you can see that.
But current utilization traffic will not show.
I mean, current utilization in the sense, ever since he connected.
I'll give you an example. If user is accessing some, he is downloading something from internet. Okay, suddenly his utilization graph will be high. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
at that particular moment, can we check this user is utilizing this much of bandwidth? You are
Can do that.
you are talking about complete utilization. Once a session established, entire bandwidth utilization you are telling, but I am asking you current utilization at this time, how much he is downloading. That kind
That
of information can.
I understand. If you see this is only talks about the active sessions. So the
Okay.
previous every session will be differentiated based on the session attribute, session identity.
Okay.
Whenever the device disconnects and connects back, the new session will be categorized with a new session identifier. So every new session identifier can be displayed over here as the active session, and only for that session traffic will be displayed. If you want to get the consolidated session information, you need to write a database query to fetch that information from the inside DB.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But that is possible both ways. If you want to have the consolidated information, you can see that. In case if you like to see the session wise traffic, you can see that here.
Okay.
So this is
session in the sense here two queries, man. Okay. A session called when user is connected to the access point. You're talking about that as a session, or any kind like how can I tell you? If user is accessing something in the internet, okay.
I understand your
Between
question.
user and source and destination established one TCP session, right?
Uh,
You're talking about a TCP session or client connected access point session you're talking?
I'm talking about the not the OSA layer session traffic. You have the OSA layer, right? Like say, if it is communicating with one particular website, if it is downloading from, that will be considered as a one session according to the OSA layer, right? That's
Correct.
But here ClearPass consider the physical connectivity status of that session. Let's say if the device is connected to the access point, as long as it is staying intact with that SSID live, it will be considered as one session. What he is doing after connecting to the session, as I said, ClearPass will not be able to keep track of it because ClearPass doesn't support the DPI based activity. That will be that kind of session. You can see it on the wireless controllers or the gateways. ClearPass session is meant that from the time it is connected to the network after successful authentication, from the time it disconnects from the network.
Okay, understood.
Till the time it gets disconnected to the network. So this is pretty much about Insight. So the good thing with Insight is we can store the data up to 720 days and report generation period up to 300 days. So this can be configured, and these reports can also be sent to the external SFTP or SCP servers in order to avoid the database utilization within ClearPass. Okay. So this is pretty much about the ClearPass basic functionality and feature set, what ClearPass as a product can offer and handling the NAC functionality in an organization. So I understand you have some competitive analysis requirements as well. I have a document with me. Let me check it. It will take much more time to discuss about this. So Vidyasagar, right?
Yes, Kiran.
Vidyasagar, would you mind to provide competitive analysis to the customer about?
Sure, we will provide.
Yeah. Because it's already half an hour we extended. It'll take a lot of time to discuss each point.
Yes.
So this is pretty much about
what I request, Kiran, is what the documents, whatever the documents presentation, what you did now. So if you share the documents with us, so that we can share it to the customers who have attended to this and who are not also attended, to them we will share. So that even after that, if they have any questions, and also we'll have one separate webinars to the same clients.
Yeah, sure. In case if we can start the POC, we can collect the list of use cases and we can show them the live demo, how it works based on the use cases.
Yes.
Okay. So all right, team. So this is particularly about the ClearPass as a product and what are the features that it can offer. In case if you have any questions with respect to any of the feature sets that we discussed, and there are a few other concepts called ingress engine, like how we can make use of the external data read by ClearPass and how we can make use of the data to control the clients. I mean, as I said, ClearPass is not only the AAA product, it has a lot of extended feature set. It will take a lot of time. So to restrict our session to a limited features, we discussed about core functionalities of ClearPass. In case if you are so keen about learning the other aspects of ClearPass as well, about the failback mechanism, failover mechanism, how we can make use of the globally scattered networks and geographically distributed networks, how we can make use of the central point of contact for ClearPass NAC. Cloud platforms, we can do that, but that would require some huge amount of time. So Trace team will help you in taking the discussion further with respect to the POC. In case if you have any particular use cases to be tested according to your requirements, we are happy to produce a demo setup and showcase the use cases to you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So Vidya, over to you. You can conclude the session. Vanshi or Vidya? Seems like you're on mute. You're talking.
Okay, thank you so much, Kiran. That was very, very comprehensive session. And what I really loved in the whole time is the amount of questions that were coming and the amount of curiosity our clients has brought. Totally loved this session. Totally loved the amount of knowledge that has been given by you. And yes, thank you so much, all the attendees. If you have any more further queries, please do reach us out. And Trace Tim is always here to help you out, support you, and also, yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining in and being till the end. It means a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good one. Bye-bye.